Hi guys, my name is Lauren Lewis.
And I'm Riman Al-Khabati, and we are your co-hosts for the Life Unfiltered podcast.
And thank you everyone for joining us on episode 2.
We are so excited to welcome our first guest, Miss Peterson. It is such an honor to have you on, Miss Peterson.
Ladies, I'm excited. This is like big time.
We're excited.
We know that your schedule is so packed, but thank you for sitting down with us. And would you like to tell us about yourself and what you do?
Oh my gosh. So I've just started year 21 at Athens and 22nd year of teaching. And I am so fortunate to be able to teach science, which is my absolute passion. And I know that the both of you had a wonderful last year in my course. Mm-hmm. So
all thanks to amazing you.
Wow. We have fun together because y'all work so hard when I push you. So I get to teach courses like chemistry, and I get to teach this really fun course we have called genetics, bacteriology, biotech, and embryology. And we just shorten it up with a little GBBE.
GBBE, oh yeah.
So Ms. Peterson, can you tell us a bit about your education, where you went to school and for how long, and what made you decide to come to where you are today?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to take you way back to
That's exactly what
I know. Oh my gosh. My very first experience with investigative science, just because I feel like I need this one out there. Mm-hmm. I rolled up my sleeves and I was like, I want to be in the science fair in elementary school, and my dad just completely supported me, let me grow plants and put all kinds of stuff in it. And then after that, anytime I had the opportunity to get my hands into something and make my own questions and find the answers to them, I was just driven. Aww. But totally supported and great teachers along the way. Mm-hmm. I went to Midland Dow High School, and after that I flew on over to Central Michigan University and started my undergrad work there.
Oh my goodness, that's a long journey.
Well, but yeah, I think when you really kind of reflect on it and you have the opportunity to say why do you do this, you got to go back to what stuck with you at the beginning. What was that moment of discovery? And it wasn't that I got the blue ribbon, which I got a blue ribbon. No, it was literally just wow, I answered my question. Yes. And then I learned something in the process, and then you just continuously kind of layer on top of that discovery mode.
So to bounce off what you just shared, how did you choose teaching? Because you say, you talk about your passion for science out of all the fields and professions. How did you land on teaching?
So I think that it was kind of just a super reflective moment. And honestly, I was the kid in all of the hardcore science classes where I was all right, there's going to be a study session and I would like to run it. And so I would basically get into a room and book this room at college and say, here's the whiteboard, and I'd bring all my supplies, and I'd start going, and I would teach everybody, and they'd be like, oh my gosh, after the test, they'd be what'd you get? What'd you get? Right? And I'd be like, I did pretty good. And they're like, you taught us this. How did, I'm like, I just didn't do as well as everybody I was teaching. So I'm like, oh, all right. No, and then it was just honestly helping people in those moments, but then more so beyond that, I got really into coaching. Mm-hmm. And then I started to volunteer in the classroom, and that's really when, because that part of the process of becoming a teacher, you get to go in and run your own examples. So I was like, can I do a lab? Again, learning hands-on and helping the kids in those moments and having those I
had so many of those. So many.
Right? Where you're totally. Now I get it. That's what she's been talking about this whole time. Yeah. So those are always fun. Yeah. That's what kind of fuels the fire. And keeps you going, is those little moments of I can do callbacks. I started this lesson maybe 3 days ago and we talked about something else, and I can throw it back in, and you just see them oh, now I get what she was saying.
Yeah.
So much better now.
I think
gosh.
one thing that I think we talked about in the first episode of how one thing that we admire about Miss Peterson as a teacher is like how, because GBBE, I took it as a sophomore. Was it the best decision? Maybe not. For me personally as a student, maybe not. But it was really, really hard. But what I always admired is that she could take like the most insane concepts that were so like almost out of this world, and then she like dumbs it down almost, and she's like, and she makes it into a little neat high school brain package, and she's like, here you go, and then you test on it and you like pass, and it's cool. So
well,
I think
that's good.
it's really, really cool how and then like it almost turns your passion on for it, because when you have a teacher that teaches about a subject that they're so passionate about, like I feel like the passion just kind of rings through everything, and you can like really,
and it can definitely like, it doesn't just drive you, it drives us.
Yes.
And we're definitely like
Really.
inspired by it.
Well, no, I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, so we come in and we're all strangers.
yeah.
And then, like, we have these, like, little connective moments, and they just start to layer.
Yeah.
And then we do, like, callbacks continuously. So, like, everything is purposeful. And so it's always like, well, we have to, like, be creative today.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, yeah, really, you do. Find all this junk that I've collected.
Yeah.
Like, throw that on the table, label it, and tell me what it means. And I think, like, when you have the opportunity to bring your own decision making to how the pieces work, that's when you own it. And so thank you for stepping into that challenge,
Yes.
because I can't do the song and dance and get, you know what I mean? It's it only works because you guys buy in year after year, and it just
I mean, it's great. Like, I remember, like, it was second, third day of school, she threw us into the slab.
Yeah.
We were all so scared, and then we walked in. I remember, like, I did the coloring, but that didn't work, and, like, that was a whole thing. But it definitely, like, taught us a lot about going into something to learn, like, not just to stand back and watch you do it, and then us doing it after.
Well, and then that's it. Like, I think you nailed it on the head there, like, failing forward, right? You know, if you don't try and you just want to memorize, we can't memorize our way through
Right.
everything,
Exactly.
right?
So and I think you have such like a kind of a out of the box approach to teaching. But if you weren't teaching, and if you chose another career, what career do you think you would choose?
Oh man. Oh man. Well, yeah, gosh darn it. I think that where I would be today, I would definitely be in some sort of like pathology. I really am fascinated by that. Biotech has like always piqued my interest, but it's so cutting edge. So as much as that is still evolving, I don't know, maybe some research or some pathology.
Now, this summer, I had the great honor of going to NYLF at UC Berkeley, nominated by Miss Peterson. She was the only reason I was there. And we had a little lab where we did like blood drawing. And, you know, we kind of learned a little bit more about like the actual blood drawing and not really like blood typing and all that. And we did a lot of that in GVBE. So I kind of got to like share with like my little group kind of about it. And I was like, oh, well, at my school in Michigan, like we have this class. And they were like, you have that class? I was like, yeah, I have this class. And it was really cool. And that was kind of my like kind of like classroom to like life moment where I could like connect, you know, like just like the classroom work to like real life. So Ramon, I was wondering, have you had like a moment where like where GBB has just come so like full circle in your life?
In my life?
Yeah.
EP Bio? Who said that? No, but even in like everyday life, like the things that it's like you can't think of it on the spot, but then when you're like experiencing things, I look at things so differently now. Like everything that I look at, humans, animals, plants, like I'm just like, whoa. Like I'm just so fascinated by everything that I see now because I understand so much more of it, and I'm just so much more in love with science and like
girl.
it's just so insane. And we talked a bit about, you know, yourself and the situations you've been through, but now let's go a little more personal. I know you have a big history with soccer, and can you tell us more about that, why you chose soccer, what it means to you?
Oh my goodness. So I kind of went through the like, hey, let's try her in every sport. And this is the one where I could run into someone and not like get kicked out of the game. So like little me fouled out of every basketball game. And like gymnastics, I was like, whoa, boring. And then like, yeah, my parents were like, so you want to go outside and run around? I'm like, yes. And then like, yeah, just absolutely have always loved the sport. And it grew from there. So my passions have taken me to being like able to play in different countries and play obviously in college. As I mentioned, I played at Central Michigan for a little bit, and after college life, getting involved with obviously coaching, a lot of that, and that took me to just when I was interviewing at Athens, having the opportunity to be able to be on the sideline and coach there and kind of have that like student connection with players on the field and in the classroom as a person that grew up playing and like balancing things and getting, as you ladies know, you're involved in everything. I don't know how you do it. I did some things and I was like in stuff, but like I look at the kids today and I'm like, holy smokes, they're just like, they're doing it all.
So competitive, yeah.
It is,
yeah,
I know, but
stakes get higher and higher.
But you gotta like just lean into it and you're like, I'm gonna do this, and then that sets you up honestly for just success later on in life and being able to balance everything. But yeah, so soccer, I coached my first 7-ish years at Athens, and then I was totally 9 months pregnant, and like the season ended, and I'm like, this is kid number 2. We had kid number 1, like she was sitting inside the like ball bin on the sideline. So during the games, we used it as like a playpen. I'm like, that was cool. I had babysitters for days, which was great, but. No, I had to kind of like take that hat off for a little bit and, you know,
How
switch
does that
gears.
make you feel, like having to like kind of leave it a bit? I know you also coach somewhere else right now, so.
Yes. So it definitely, it was tough. It was always tough because, you know, you're working with high school aged kids and to like go to baby level, that's a minute.
Yeah.
It's a big switch of like, you know, they can't really play soccer. No, so like I pressed pause on that for a while, and I started to coach again when the girls were little, and that kind of transitioned into I took them as far as I could. It's sort of like and in the spring we're going to tryouts, and you're going to have a new coach, and that's important. Because I think like learning from other people and, you know, that allowed me to be a mom and then a fan and a coach and then like move into some like different directions with that. But today I don't have the capacity in my world to take on my own team. So I'm like the ultimate substitute. And I volunteer with the Rochester Soccer Club whenever I can. I love being on the board. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
So, and I know you mentioned being a mother too, and so coaching, teaching, and then having 2 kids? Is it 2 kids? How do you find those roles kind of like crossing and like intertwining, and maybe you're coaching and you're like, oh, this ties into being a mom or teaching?
100%. And like this is where if my husband was on a mic, he'd jump in and be like, "Oh, she goes teacher mode on us." It's like I don't
you go mom mode on us.
Right? Yeah, it's funny. It's like I don't know if she gets mad, and then you're like, "Oh no, she could get mad." So, but yeah, so I guess there's a lot of overlap, and I run not like my house like a lab procedure, but there's like things you do first, second, and third to make sure that things get completed. But I have a smidge of a commute, and some days I complain about it, but other days it's like I get these like next 20 minutes, 20 sometimes more, to just like switch my role in my brain. So it's like finding that moment. I also know with like being a mom and like a teacher, I know how to interact with my kids and be like, so what did the teacher say? You know, like I'm going to have their back and I have my kids' back and that kind of a thing. And I'm like, well, perhaps the intention was for you to like try this and that, you know, so I try to give the perspective and help them through things. But I'll tell you what, it is so wonderful being friends and knowing people that have like amazing skills in the subject of advanced algebra.
Yes.
And like other courses and things like that. So if I can't figure out the question, I can just text my friend and be like, "Can you help us?" Or I'd be like,
I didn't know
I'll
this
take
was happening.
Oh yeah. Yes. I'd be like,
so funny.
did we answer question 7 right? Click. And I'd get that's a really great answer. Here you go. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, so we all lean on each other.
Oh, yeah.
Like the
That's
teachers.
So sweet.
Aw.
Are like, help. That's what it's about, right?
Right.
Take
Do
the
you
village.
think having to manage, because you stay after school often to do ELOs or help AP research students or like all that kind of stuff, and you're always, even during your lunch or in the morning, I've never come into your room and not found a student in there, and you're
Yeah.
helping someone out, and you go home and you have children and you have a husband, and then you have, I don't know, do you have pets? I thought you
I
did.
do not have any
Oh,
pets.
okay. I thought you did. But
Jumping off
like
the plate.
having to manage all of that, like how do you feel like, does it ever burn you out? How do you take care of that? And like if it does, like how do you like bounce back up?
Yeah, so like a bit of me time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I really enjoy working out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so I try to like stay on a schedule as best I can.
Yeah.
Like some days you get, pushed to your limits and you're like, the best thing for me is to go to bed early tonight.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Or the best thing for me is to like, I don't know, do a facial
Yeah.
or something, like pamper yourself,
Yeah.
right? No, but if I'm having a really like stressful day or there's too many things, nothing solves it better than a run.
Mhm.
Yeah. or
Oh,
getting
yeah.
in the gym.
Ramon, you know how much? Oh, yeah, a
She
run.
loves running.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
just getting all of that out, like clearing your head on that. I just try.
There have been so many days where like I've had an insane day at school and it's like I need to go home and run 5 miles. Like I
Right.
need to. Like I just need to go outside. I need to run.
resets
That's so
you.
totally 100%.
Maybe I should try that out.
And then some people are always like, I'm not running. And it's like, but it's good. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's good. It's good. But if you could go back and give your high school self one piece of advice, what would it be? Because me and Ramon kind of gave ourselves freshman advice on the
Okay.
last episode. So high school Miss Peterson, what do you have to say to her?
Miss Peterson. Oh my gosh. Dang. I guess I would have said to myself, like, it's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I was, you get driven by you have to get the best grades,
Oh, yeah.
and then that kind of a thing, and it's okay to try again, and then to just continue down that road of getting. Maybe I guess I don't know. My brain is kicking now. I would have really pushed myself to explore some like research opportunities. Because if there's one thing that I think I didn't get the opportunity to dive into deeper there in my collegiate experience, because I was so like in soccer, right? It was like 6 hours a day, and then I would go to class and so on. But if I could have gotten into a bit of research, it might have pushed my passions in a different direction that I think that like I would have loved to explore. So I guess I didn't realize the opportunities if they were there. Yeah, which just kind of pushed
Totally.
that into that direction.
I think that like the thing you said about the grades is so true, because Troy kids are so smart, but Troy kids are so smart, so it's like
Right.
if you say, oh, I have a 4.2 so do like 40 other kids right next to you, right across the street at Troy High, or like at Athens, and it's and it's like the academic rigor can get to a lot, and I think and there's times where like sometimes I feel behind, like I'm 16, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel behind because like I didn't take this class freshman year, so now I can't get into this college, and now I can't do this major, and oh well, it's over.
Oh my gosh.
It's over.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like
That's so
you watch
important.
everyone else around you and they're all so amazing and they're doing amazing things, but you're doing amazing things. And I feel like sometimes we need to realize that we're doing great things too, because you're watching everyone do such great things and you're like, oh my God, why am I not doing this? I should be doing more. What I'm doing is not enough. But you don't even have time to eat. Like, go home.
Yes.
That is so much stress.
Totally.
Yeah, I think the art of comparison is like super scary. And I think like one thing that I would continue to just push you guys into thinking of, like, just take a reflective moment and realize like opportunities are here and they continue to stay here, and take them when you're ready, and not only just that, but like realize that you can do it later, Yeah. And then like being well-rounded is probably the best quality that you could have instead of just having that number of the 4 point something on your transcripts, because life experiences are going to speak volumes.
Now now you might have kind of just answered it, but the next question I had for you was like if a lot of your students end up wanting to go into the medical field, you know, in some aspect or some STEM careers, and so what like advice would you give to those kids?
Especially students that are like jumping into GBBE.
Yes.
My class is not a thermometer or an indicator of your successes in any type of a like medical field whatsoever. Like this isn't, if you don't do well on the first something, or you're not done, right? The opportunities are there. And I guess that's really it, is to just be as present as you can and continue to experience what you can right now, because you're going to build on it later. In case in point with like going and getting that phemotomist training and then being able to speak eloquently about like, why do the reactions turn out this way? Why is it type A and B? And like you like threw those nuggets out there and you spoke to what you know, but then like you just strengthened your own knowledge and you helped others around you. And so I see a lot of students that come in and they're like, if I don't do well in this class, I will not be a neurosurgeon. And I'm like, well, let's talk about like mitosis. But, you know, I just don't think that that's fair to anybody. It's great to have goals and to understand the steps between point A and, you know, wherever it is that you're landing, but holding on to the here and now and the moment to kind of retain what you can is the most important, because we can build on it later, and you can too.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. So going off of that question just a little bit, I know you have all science classes, right? And you have a lot of different students. I think you have freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So you have all kinds of students. So when people walk into your class, and I know sometimes not everyone is interested in what you're teaching, how do you deal with that, with like students who think science is boring or they're not interested in it at all?
Well, there's like a really great a little moment where it's like I really want to push people to see things differently. I've always been like, hey, tell me what you see. Tell me what you see, and then let's talk about it. But the one thing that I can say that 100% drives the ability to like absorb this information or even be acknowledging it. Participate. So like the more we participate in any kind of like a hands-on activity or a laboratory whatsoever, like you said, come into class a couple days in and I'm like, no, just try this. Just try this and then tell me what you think. And then we're going to tell you what the real answer should be, and or rescue yourself in your thoughts, and then we'll get to the end of the year and get pushed into a lot more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Ms. Peterson. Now, one last question as we close out here, and again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day and talking with us. But if now, like Ramon just said, you have a lot of students, and if students came into your class and they only took away one thing, what would it be?
Ooh. Man, like the art of questioning, critical thinking, and just embrace creativity. Bring your thoughts and throw them at something creative to find new answers. Like that right there, that little bit of like spark and drive, if we all just continuously keep it right present and like feed it, then we can continue to like change. And we can continue to like think more critically and influence others.
I hope you know that I took that from your class, and now I know how to ask questions.
Wow, totally.
Actually, one more question. I know this is like a fun one to kind of end it. If you could take your class on one alternate science field anywhere in the world, and you could do anything and there's no budget, where would you go?
Oh, yeah. Like, you guys have all seen the Magic School. I want to be Miss Rizzle so bad.
Go like inside someone's lungs.
That would be so cool to just like pick up and go. No, I think I've always felt this way in particular. Like the coolest thing that I would love to take you all to see is an ultrasound.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, I know, to get, like, because even when I was, like, pregnant, I was, like, telling the students, like, this is the coolest thing my mind is blown. I'm like, if I could just take this and be like, right, like, this
Hey guys, look.
right, yeah, it's a little bit invasive, but I really, like, the ultrasound will blow your mind. Like, that is the coolest experience from, like, a science standpoint, if you know, like, human anatomy, whatever, and then, like, talking about all that, that would be something. That would be super, super cool. And then, like, you guys would get to see it, but
yeah, because, like, guys, and if you don't know, her class is full of nerds. We're all huge science nerds, and we're led by the biggest nerd. Miss Peterson is, like, our queen nerd. Yeah, we would all love that.
If you're a nerd, you're cool.
Yeah,
100%.
We would all love that.
And we all got each other's bags,
Oh,
too.
totally.
Yeah,
totally.
Thank you so much, Miss Peterson.
Thank you for
such an honor.
This is my honor. Oh my gosh, having you here and asking these questions to me, it's like a little intimidating, but I love it.
You did great, Miss Peterson.
Yes, and thank you guys so much for tuning in on Life Unfiltered. You know where to find us at life.unfilteredpod on Spotify, Instagram, and YouTube.
And if y'all would like to be a guest or have any questions for us or anything that you want to say, a comment or a concern, you can DM us, or there is a form in the Instagram bio.
I'm your co-host, Rimana Alkavati.
And Lauren Lewis.
And we are your co-hosts for the Life Unfiltered podcast.
Always remember to embrace the mess
and live life unfiltered. Bye, guys.